Hi folks, I'm Tony.
And I'm Tina.
And we're TNT RVing. And today we're at Stonewall Resort.
We're in Roanoke, West Virginia. We're staying at the campground here called Briar Point. And Stonewall Resort is actually part of West Virginia's state park system.
So in this video, we're going to share with you a little bit about the resort, the campground,
and some things to do in the area.
Especially some sporting clays, which is just down the road.
So stay tuned.
All right, so here's the entrance. And if you're not camping, entrance fee is $5, boat launch $8, and you can get a season pass for $45. Here's where you check in. And here's Tina. Yeah, let's go for a ride here.
It took you so long.
We're out in front of the resort here, and we're gonna walk you in, and let's take a look. It's a nice little lounging area.
Here, let me get the door for you.
Thank you, darling. Here we are. Off to the right here is registration and guest services. And then here is where Miss Tina got her spa treatment yesterday. right, Tina, so we've been here at Briar Point Campground for a couple days now. Wondering what you think about it.
What do I think about it? I love this place. This is why we come here frequently.
We don't come here. This is only our second time here.
But it's going to become more frequently.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like it. It's a very small campground with a big resort. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. But
Yeah.
I like the, I mean, I think there's a total of maybe 35 or 40 campsites. I'm not quite sure. But they're all nice and wide and big and spacious between the sites. So that's really nice. And you have full access to the resort. So you have access to their pool and their spa, their restaurants, and the golf course.
So it's really the best of both worlds.
Yep.
And here we are. Paul!
That's not what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah. All right, let's try it again. Paul! So here we are at Station 11, brought to you by Buckhannon Toyota and our beautiful trapper Tina here.
Yeah,
And what are we going to be doing here? We got a report pair, so we'll
suck at
need
this.
6 shells.
okay.
So let's see what we can do. We have a B target off my left, A above me. Let's see. Wow, look at that valley. All right, let's try and get these. Pull! Oh, missed it. One more time.
Dead last.
Yep. Pull! There you go.
Dead pair.
And one more time. Pull!
Dead pair.
All right. So as you know, we're staying over at Briar Point Campground, and one of the great things nearby is Stonewall Sporting Clays. And we're sitting down here with Kevin, the owner of Stonewall Sporting Clays. And we're just trying to get a little history of how he came about and a little bit, as much as we can learn about the club.
So you guys was asking me about the playhouse out there. That's truly how the whole story, my whole story starts I met my wife 17, 18 years ago. I had moved back from Texas. I had a son, and it was just my son and I had a cabin rental business and a carriage rental business, and did horseback riding here locally, and had a relationship with Stonewall Resort. I got into the auction business thinking I would be part-time, and turns out there was not a lot of people in my field that was bilingual. And so I sell in Spanish or English.
Oh.
And so, 17 years ago, there was really no bilingual auctioneers, and auction companies were having to hire an auctioneer, and then they would have to hire translators. And so the translators really had to understand what the auction industry was going, because we're, mainly in the heavy equipment field, and for almost 50 plus years, every year in February, there's, close to sometimes over $1 billion worth of iron sold at auction in the Florida, Texas market. Just because a lot of the North brings all their equipment down there, and it turns out to be a very huge sale. So there's lots of auction companies that work down there. And so I come along thinking that I'm going to be a part-time auctioneer, and I find out I'd worked for a survey crew in Texas, and I learned numbers, my Spanish numbers backwards and forwards. And, I just remember the auction, or the auction school, the owner says, hey, there's things that are coming down our path that, that if you can learn Spanish, and B, if you can learn computer, he says in the future, people will be buying equipment and cattle and horses and furniture and antiques mainly off the interweb, the internet.
Sure.
That's what he called it, the interweb. This was 17, 18 years ago.
Right, exactly.
And of course everybody laughed and they said,
No.
No, nobody's going to buy, nobody's going to buy anything off the, the website. And
Right.
and so fast forward to now, it's how most of, auction companies, if you don't have, an internet presence or internet bidding capabilities. I mean, I bought 3 dozers off of my telephone this morning while I was waiting in line at the bank to, withdraw some money, because it's just the accessibility.
Sure.
Okay.
And so I come along and I raised my hand and I said, I can sell in Spanish. And he was like, okay, hillbilly, that's. And long story short, I started selling, and my travels took me all over the world. I sold in Spain and Germany and Hong Kong, Australia, Ireland, and my wife and I would live in. Excuse me.
No, go ahead.
We would live in Florida the month of, December, January, and February, working auctions, because so I built up this clientele, and it was fun whenever it was just my wife and I, and we could just travel together and stay in Florida, for the winter, and then we started about 7 years into our marriage. She says, hey, I'm getting tired of you. I'm going to need some entertainment. And so we started making these beautiful little girls. Zoe's 10, Katie is 9, and Grayson is 6. My son's in college. He goes to the Ohio State, graduating soon. Super proud of him. He's in the forestry and business sustainability kind of industry. So he just super great kid, super proud of him. But so I was traveling and I just got homesick. That brings me to the clubhouse. So I always had a desire to bring sporting clays to West Virginia. I've shot sporting clays all over the world. I've never shot a competition other than, a charity event or anything like that, because I know my addictive personality. I would have to be shooting this one to go to this one, to go to this one, to qualify for this one, and it would ruin the enjoyment, the pure enjoyment that I get out of sharing this great sport with so many people. And so I went to, you guys met my business partners, the Flynn family and the Yost family. I went to them. I had bought heavy equipment. They're in the gas and oil industry. And I had went to them with my business plan. I had consulted with our friends at Buffer Creek for many years, for 2 or 3 years. They basically told me all the things not to do, and I stole ideas. I call it R&D. I go to another club, I do R&D, and everybody thinks that's research and development, and it's actually rip off and duplicate.
There you go.
And so I go to my business partners, and they ask for, hey, business plan. I throw the business plan out, and they're, all for it. And they said, we'd be happy to loan you the money, but we would really, really, and it's up to you, like to be your business partners. And that I've made a lot of good decisions in my life. And I've made some bad decisions in my life, but this is one of the greatest business decisions I've ever made, opening this place and partnering with the right family.
Absolutely. They're nice people.
They're wonderful people.
And this is a great club.
So the clubhouse, when we built the place, I built the playhouse for my girls, because all summer long they'll be here.
Well, do you find, I don't know if they still do, they did in the fall where they had the Thursday nights, you'd like have dinner.
Yes.
And then come here and
Yep.
shoot, or
Yeah.
shoot and then have
Yeah,
dinner.
we call Thursday night dine and shoot.
Right,
And
so it's,
Okay.
and mostly those are people who have never shot before, correct?
a lot of our guests come here have never touched a gun.
Yeah.
And we would rather that. I'd rather have 5 middle-aged women that's never touched a shotgun as opposed to 5 good old boys that grew up squirrel hunting.
Right.
Because those women will hang on your every word.
They want to learn.
They want to
want
learn.
to understand.
They have,
Yeah.
they have no bad habits, and they're respectful of the gun. I would rather have, 5 people that's never touched a gun as opposed to guys that,
Yeah, well, we were,
semi-touched
when
them.
we were here on Sunday,
Sunday.
there were 2 gals, probably in their late 20s, early 30s, nicely dressed, as we're in here on our t-shirt shorts.
Yeah.
But they
They went
went out
with
and
your instructor?
with your
Mhm.
With
instructor
Jeff,
and
yeah.
shot, and they
Yeah.
had they were like thrilled because we were
Enamored.
here when they came back, and they were like, "This was so
It's
much
a
fun."
great sport, a family sport.
Yeah, and so you said the clubhouse is 3 years old then, so you've been
Yeah,
here 3
we
years,
we'll celebrate 3 years in June, and
and it's a great course.
Absolutely.
Thank you
It's a
so
fun
much.
On this course, I'll tell you, I'd say, I guess a well-seasoned shooter, mostly Ohio, Pennsylvania, of course, but
This is a challenging
this
course.
is, for me, very challenging.
Sure.
I get a little bit of vertigo on some of the,
Sure.
the stations here.
Yeah.
Because you're
of
looking up.
Looking
Yep.
up.
Looking
and
down.
Looking down. I've had
Exactly.
master class shooters come here and say, "Never have I ever." I love it when they
Yeah,
say,
Yeah.
"Never have I ever
Exactly.
shot clays below my feet."
Right,
Right.
right.
You know,
Right. It
most
is.
presentations are based off of the premises of,
Oh.
big. And I
Sure.
lived in
Right.
Texas, and I've shot all those big
Oh.
presentations in Texas.
Flat
Nothing
Texas.
just makes me
Right.
happier than, call and pull, watching the bird, mount the gun, shoot, unload, and then watch the clays.
Right.
But,
so
they're so
far.
far away,
Exactly.
that is
That's-
pleasure. But,
Yeah.
here we're, I'm able to, run birds up against the backdrop of the hill or
Mm-hmm.
bring them off the hill. And it's an optical illusion.
It is. There's
Some of them
no,
are going,
true straight line. It's
Yeah.
they're always
yeah,
When Tony shot the course, he actually shot most of it wearing a GoPro on his head.
yeah.
so I
Just
have
so
some
we can
footage.
see it. And it was,
That's great. I cannot wait
and
to watch
yeah,
it.
it's,
It was a little
yeah.
bit of a distraction, but it was
Yeah.
it was fun, and it was like, I can't believe I'm missing this.
Yeah.
It's like, I should get this. But,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
There's a couple of them up there notorious for,
Right.
that hill right there in front of your face. But it messes up with you. It messes the
This is with your brain.
yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
with
think
your
it's going
senses,
faster than it is, or you think it's going slower than it actually
Yeah.
is. So,
Right.
but,
So great. If you're staying at the Stonewall Resort or what have you, don't have any reservations about coming
Coming
out
with
and
us.
giving Sporting Clays a try.
Stonewall Sporting.
Paul. Paul. Over top. Oh, head of it. No good. I'm getting jerky. All right. Paul. One more. Paul! That's the way to do it. Alrighty, so we're on our way to Lambert's Winery, and I wanted to share with you the route up to it. This is also on the Harvest Host, and as you'll see, it can be a little bit tricky, especially if you got a big old fifth wheel or something. So, right here, right? So
is the
careful
road.
bringing your fifth wheel through here.
You've arrived at your destination.
Turn right up here.
Correct.
Not so bad from here. So Tina and I made it to Lambert's Winery, and just look how beautiful this place is. It's a nice little hidden gem and wonderful wine.
And they're only open till 5, so you got to make sure you get here early. I need that sign for my. The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, subsequently the Weston State Hospital, was a Kirkbride psychiatric hospital that was opened and operated from 1864 to 1994 by the government of West Virginia. The Weston State Hospital got its name in 1913, which was used while patients occupied it, but was changed back to its originally commissioned unused name, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, after being reopened as a tourist attraction. The main building is the second largest hand-cut sandstone building in the world, next to the Kremlin.
Well, folks, there you have it. Briar Point Campground.
It's Stonewall Resort in Roanoke, West Virginia. We've really enjoyed our time here.
Yeah, what a fun place. It's I'm really enjoying our stay here, and it's sad that we have to leave.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed all the amenities that the resort has, as well as all the things to do in the area.
Especially Sporting Clays. We got a big shout out to Kevin. Thanks for all the time you spent with us. And appreciate that. What a great family.
And it's a great club. Make sure you check it out when you're in the area.
So thanks for watching. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so.
And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And we'll see you at the campground.
There you go.